Please subscribe to my channel for more video. Please like and share. His pick of the week's TV. Damien Love gives his verdict on TV, Sunday, December 14, Saturday, December 20. Sunday, December 14, Olive Kitteridge, 9 p.m., Sky Atlantic. The latest HBO import, and it's another stunner, although it stuns in a slow, sad way. This brief series would be the best thing on TV this week if only for the cast. The great Frances McDormand leads as the prickling Olive, joined by Richard Jenkins as her patient husband. Elsewhere come passing faces like Peter Mullen and Bill Murray, the kind of actors who you could watch just sitting around trying to decide on a pizza. Adapted from the Pulitzer Prize-winning short story collection by Elizabeth Strout, it begins in the early 2000s, when we first encounter Olive in her 70s, in a startling moment. Then it flips back to late 1970s, and her life as a misanthropic maths teacher in Maine, and her seemingly unlikely marriage with her upbeat pharmacist husband. Attuned to the mundane, soulful and poetic, it's a portrait, essentially, peeling back the layers of a crabby, complicated, depressed, almost unlikable character, trying to get close to someone who really doesn't want you getting close to her. Monday, December 15th. Darts Night, 9 p.m., BBC 4. It's all arrows and docks on BBC 4 tonight, beginning with Bullseyes and Beer, When Darts Hit Britain, a dependably fine documentary from the time shift strand, examining how the game broke out from the pub to become a lucrative, sweaty TV fixture in the 1970s and 1980s. The film explores the history of darts and considers its surprising ability to cross borders of class and gender, but the focus is on the World Championship finals that gripped the nation in 1980, 1983 and 1990, with help from the legend who featured in all three, Eric Bristow, Phil the Power Taylor, John Stoneface Lowe and Bobby Dazzler George are also interviewed, and there are contributions from Martin the Teeth Famous. It's followed by Arrow's 10 p.m. director John Sampson's excellent short film, following the Bristow in his pomp around late 70s Britain. Completing the triple top, the repeat for the documentary Alex Higgins, the People's Champion at 11:35 p.m. Except he's snooker. Close enough for BBC 4 though. Tuesday, December 16th. Black Mirror, White Christmas, 9 p.m., Channel 4. It would be good if, in the way that the BBC has made an annual tradition of its festive Doctor Who, Channel 4 put on a Christmas special for Charlie Brooker's dyspeptic anthology series every December. Finding Black Mirror lodged among the schedules like a chicken bone in the throat at this time of year, it suddenly becomes clear that Christmas is the perfect setting for Brooker's program. The Black Mirrors of Black Mirror are, of course, the interconnected, fingerprint-smeared web of screens that surround us, to the point we barely notice them anymore, or how our dim reflections get lost in them. Phone, computer, television. And if Christmas isn't all about getting your hands on the latest essential piece of digital life enhancement, well, what is it about? Here, too, Black Mirror fits the season. Brooker's What If stories explore our relationship with a technology that is evolving faster than our psychology, and a culture racing to commoditize our most private needs and feelings. Indeed, the Black Mirror title is already quaint. In these new stories, the screens have practically disappeared. These are modern-day morality tales of the unexpected, but sometimes the moralizing, and the sentimentality that accompanies it, gets a little much. The worst episodes can strike a slightly hectoring, sermonizing tone. At Christmas, though, we're more susceptible to that stuff, just as Frank Capra. This feature-length special, a selection box of 3 stories, finds the show at its best and worst. One of the great things about Black Mirror is that it gives excellent actors the chance to do something slightly outside the bounds TV usually sets them. As a bonus present, this one offers John Hamm, the madman himself, delivering a magnetic performance that begins all cocksure strength and easy charm, then chips away to reveal something smaller and much seedier. Perhaps not so very far from Don Draper after all, then. Hom leads to stories, which come framed inside a larger piece that sets him in the two-hander with Rafe's ball, workers at some strange, isolated, snowbound station, sharing a claustrophobic Christmas dinner. The separate pieces work together cleverly, ideas salted in the first and second mesh and delivered the third. Taken individually, though, the first is best. Set, as ever, the hair's breadth into the future. Bucher extrapolates on the possibilities of Google Glass to propose ZI's internet-enabled contact lens implants that act as both browser screen and camera for the wearer. From this, he spins a twisted cyber Cyrano de Bergerac, with Hom as an online pickup guru, secretly guiding an uncertain young man through scoring with a girl. There's a brilliant kernel here, but the tale falls apart a little, partly because the dark twist ending is too clearly telegraphed, but mostly because it presents this supposedly ubiquitous piece of kit, then has most of the characters acting as though they don't know it exists. Black Mirror is often compared with The Twilight Zone, but where Rod Serling's writers roamed free from sci-fi to the supernatural, Bucher limits himself to our death dance with technology. It's a huge subject, but the gadgetry sometimes gets in the way. The second piece here, Reefing on Smart Artificial Intelligence, is so focused on speculative tech, it forgets to include the story. Still, the program pitches with intelligence and surprising passion, both for its themes, and for how TV is made. If there's a Christmas special with more ideas this year, I'll be surprised. Wednesday, December 17th. The Fight for Saturday night 9 p.m. BBC4. I'm still hoping for the day when Michael Grade persuades/blackmails the BBC into bankrolling the sumptuous 12-part series called Action TV, How Uncle Lou Kicked British TV's But Good Style for 3 decades without even putting his cigar down, narrated by Sir Roger Moore. But in the meantime, all these other programs he's making about our TV history will do. In this one, he and well-chosen guests from the production companies involved look back in delight on the wonderfully shameful history of backbiting, skullduggery and dirty dealing that went into the deadly Saturday night ratings war between the BBC and ITV across the 1980s and 1990s, the epic struggle that gave us such fabled, bloody battles as Blind Date versus No Hell's House Party. The behind-the-scenes stories give a picture of how freewheeling things sometimes used to be, with some monster hits arriving almost by accident, stories told with gleam, insight, and gossip. Thursday, December 18th. The Neek. 9 p.m. Sky Atlantic. It's the final episode of The Fall Tonight BBC 2, 9 p.m. but the BBC weren't for giving out preview copies. Meanwhile, though, it's also the last episode of The Nook, the brilliant drama directed by Steven Soderbergh, which has been one of 2014's most compulsive joys. Although it stitches together lots of familiar elements, this period piece, set in the New York hospital circa 1900, dices them up in a way that has made it one of the most original, modern and deeply felt series of recent years. Soderbergh's wonderfully immersive and expressive cinematography doesn't hurt, either. It's hardly an upbeat climax, as the various public and private crises that have been unfolding come to their inevitable ends. At the center, deep in cocaine-fueled obsession and paranoia, Clive Owen's magnetic Dr. Thackeray looks more like Dr. Jekyll on the turn. Amid all the sadness, though, there's a jolt of pure, grisly deadwood, involving a Chinese killer with an axe. A second series is coming. Friday, December 19th. The Joy of the Bee Gees. 9 p.m. BBC4. A sometimes debatable title, but you get the general idea as BBC4 ignore all the bands they haven't made documentaries about and who are absolutely crying out for one, to instead roll out yet another evening devoted to one of those groups the BBC seem to have on, in some shape or form, every other month. This is a new profile, though, picking over their long career and the mighty medallion years of You Should Be Dancing, etc., with the surviving Gib, Barry, and contributions from fans like Scissors Sister Animatronic, Robbie Williams Songwriter Machine, aka Guy Chambers, and good old blessed Sir Joan Lydon himself. Insanely, they're not putting Saturday Night Fever on after it, but there is a compilation, Bee Gees at the BBC and Beyond at 10 p.m. Repeats for the Graham Norton-fronted documentary Queens of Disco 11 p.m. and the compilation Disco at the BBC 12 midnight will help you keep staying alive into the small hours. Saturday, December 20th. Rick Mayall, Lord of Misrule 10:05 p.m. BBC 2. To this day, I still count Rick Mayall as the funniest thing I ever saw live on a stage. It was 1984. He ran on singing Pants, Panty Pants, Panty Pants, Pants 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 to the tune of Land of 1000 Dances. Farewell, then, people's poet. So long Kevin Turvey. Goodbye Richard Ritchie Richard, the Dew Lord Flash here, and talent bestirred, Bon Voyage. Still visibly bereft by his sudden death in June, aged only 56, a host of Mayall's comrades pay tribute in this heartfelt but pretty funny profile. His soul brother endangered, Bad Edmondson, is understandably absent, but comrades from young ones Ben Belton, Christopher Ryan and Lexi Sale, through Blackadder people to Greg Davies, who had Mayall play his dad in his sitcom, Man Down, are here. Other admirers, from Michael Palin to Simon Pegg, line up to declare their fandom, too, and Mayall himself is present in copious archive footage to pop the bubble when it looks like getting too serious. It comes bookended by episodes of Blackadder 9:35 p.m. and The Young Ones 11:05 p.m. Beat Knuckle, Fritz.